Hello there, welcome to the Perfume Experience. Welcome back to another fragrance related review. Today we are going to talk to you about one of the fragrance houses from India, and I actually got one of their fragrances to compare with the David of Cool Water video because I wanted to try out how is that alternative, and it was a fantastic fragrance. I was very surprised by it, and then I let it go as it is because I didn't really want to try out any of the fragrances because there are plenty of reviews of this particular house. But then recently I just thought, let me do a spray of one of the other fragrances, and that blew me away because I did not expect that signature smell on that particular perfume. Then I thought, okay, let me also try the other one, and then I was like, wow, this is a DNA that I know, and this is very familiar, and I did want to share this with you guys. So I thought, let's go ahead and review, and I'm talking about the Upsilon's discovery set, which contains 3 fragrances from this particular house, right? So let's find out in this particular video why this particular review set or the trial set is so very good, why the discovery set is good, and why it is such an underrated house. And let's talk all about it in this particular video. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get going right after this intro. Welcome back, and like I said, we're going to talk about Upsilon's discovery set. Now, just before we go ahead, I want to give you a disclaimer that this is not a paid review, this is not a sponsored review, and nowadays it's a little tough because the moment you say a couple of good things about any particular house and people just jump at you saying that this is a paid review and all kind of that. So just want to clear the air that I got this discovery set for my David of Cool Water comparison. I specifically wanted Wild Blue, and then I thought, let's review the other 2 fragrances since I kind of like them, right? So there are 3 fragrances that come in this particular box. I got this from Amazon. It's about 500 rupees roughly to get 8 ml of 3 of this. So you do have 3 fragrances. One is the Wild Blue, okay, and then you have Shooting Star. Okay, this is another one, and then you have Golden Sands, right? So we're going to talk about all of them, and let's quickly review Upsilon Wild Blue because I've kind of spoken about this particular fragrance already, so I'm going to keep it brief. So this is a David of Cool Water alternate, and what's great about this particular fragrance is when you put this on, you do kind of get a very refreshing opening. Now the opening is basically you have mint, you have lavender, you have clear sage, so you have like that spicy, fresh, minty kind of opening with a good marine vibe. You also have some amount of oak moss, you have some amber, you have some woody kind of vibe that you kind of get. You do have a little bit of a sandalwood in the dry down, but it's not very prominent. The oak moss is very prominent, and you do get a little bit of a spicy hint. Along with the spicy hints of geranium and coriander, you do have a little bit of a musk as well. Although the original David of Cool Water does have a little bit of a sandalwood vibe, which you do not get very prominently here. What you kind of get is a very clean office kind of a fragrance. It's a very marine, aquatic, spicy, fresh fragrance that you can wear for office, you can wear for gym. It's a very clean, neat kind of fragrance which will get you a lot of compliments. Now what surprises with Upsilon more is that the fact that this performs really good. It does project very well for the first 1 to 1.5 hours time. You do get more than 3 feet of projection, and lasting easily does about 6 to 7 hours, which even Cool Water does only about 5 hours time. So from that point of view, this is a great fragrance to consider at a price point, at a budget price point, where you get good 6-7 hours of performance. Now if you want to watch the comparison between David of Cool Water and exactly this particular fragrance, so you can check out the link, or you can check out the video on my channel. You can have a look at complete details about the Upsilon Wild Blue. But this I did test, this I did like, and I was very happy with it, like I said, and I let it go until recently when I actually sprayed 1 spray of Golden Sands, and immediately I was blown away because this is a DNA that's very familiar, and this is a DNA that I absolutely enjoy. Now if you do know the color of the bottle, you kind of guess that it's an ambery fragrance, and the name says Golden Sands, which would refer to the Middle Eastern desert, right? So that's what this particular fragrance is going for, a very Middle Eastern touch. Now what you kind of get, right? This is a fragrance that's got a very prominent opening of sweet saffron opening, which is very nice, and then you have some floral hint that you kind of get very nicely, and then of course you do get a smoky vibe, and you get a very nice woody vibe, right? Having said that, this particular fragrance opens with, like I said, the good amount of saffron, which is very sweet. It's got a very sweet opening, and then the floral vibe is basically rose. Now this particular fragrance has actually got Thef rose. Now, Thef is actually a type of a rose that's grown in the Thef region in Saudi, right? So it's used by Roja fragrances as well. So it's very, very popular, blooms for a very short period of time, for about 3 months. So it's very difficult to extract a lot of oil. That's the particular rose that they've gone for, which is very creamy, which is very light, which is very airy. Now, along with that, you do have nuances of orange in this particular fragrance, and along with a little bit of patchouli, although I don't get hints of that. What you get is a good sandalwood creamy vibe, which makes this particular fragrance very dense, very beautiful. Along with this, there is a caramel note, the chocolatey caramel note, which makes this particular fragrance very, very yum, delicious, and very, very nice. In the dry down, of course, there is myrrh, there is amber as well, and that gives that smoky effect to this particular fragrance. On the whole, this is a fabulous fragrance, especially if you're looking to try something Middle Eastern, something that's very, very nice. Now, this one lasts like very good. You do get very good about 7 to 8 hours on apparel, especially in indoors, evening wear, AC environment. It works very well. It does project for about an hour, and the projection is more than 2 to 3 feet, and it lasts for like the first 1 hour. After that, it kind of loses those sweet elements. It does have nutmeg in it as well. I think there's that little bit of that spicy oriental spiciness that you kind of get, like cinnamon, saffron type of a vibe. But after that, you kind of get a very creamy, woody vibe, which is very, very nice, and that chocolatey caramel vibe is very, very good. It reminds you of a typical Middle Eastern fragrance, absolutely. Now, for me, the moment I put this, like I said, this is what wowed me, because I recognized the DNA immediately, and I was thinking, I have smelled this fragrance before and we must talk about it, because most of the reviews that I looked at in the past have not really pinpointed and said that what this fragrance resembles. They have spoken about the notes of the fragrance, but not really the fragrance which it clones, and I immediately thought this clones Latafa's Velvet Mood. Now, Latafa's Velvet Mood is actually got a little bit more prominent oud in the opening, and it's also got a little more sweetness, which also this has got, but this sweetness is a little lower compared to this. This is a lot more sweeter, but this is an alternate of Lancome's Oud Bouquet, so you kind of get that nuances of this typical oud, rose, amber, saffron, that kind of a vibe. I'm also told that this particular fragrance, which is the Golden Sands, is an alternate of Swiss Arabian's Shagaf Oud. Now, I don't have that, and I am guessing it's in the same DNA ballpark, but nonetheless, if you have tried Latafa's Velvet Mood, you will absolutely know this, or if you've tried Lancome's Oud Bouquet, it's a very familiar DNA. So yes, you will like this particular fragrance, because it smells very nice, very dense, powdery, and something that you can wear for special occasions and celebrations, right? Now, after this, I did try another fragrance, which is basically their Shooting Star. Now, if you look at the bottles, this is basically a blue fragrance, which is basically a party type of fragrance, a nightwear kind of fragrance. So you can wear it for parties, you can wear it for gym, you can wear it for everyday kind of use. Now, this is Shooting Star, and now when you put this on, you kind of get very blown away with a type of scent profile, where you have a very sweet bubblegummy, airy type of an aquatic type of an opening, and that bubblegummy thingy is with a little bit of a nutty element. So you kind of get a nutty, marine, aquatic, spicy, that kind of a DNA. Now, this particular fragrance opens with actually hazelnut. It opens with hazelnut, and it's got some aromatic vibes, and of course, it's got a marine aquatic vibe, followed by it's got nutmeg, which has got that oriental spiciness. It's also got a little bit of a sandalwood, I think, and it does have like earthy nuances of oak moss and amber. But what makes this particular fragrance very, very nice is that opening note, where it's got that nutty opening of hazelnut and cardamom, nutmeg, and that thing is only there for about 10-15 minutes, and then it vanishes off. Now, after it vanishes off, you kind of get that oak moss vibe with the ambery element to it, with the woody vibe to it, and that reminds you of Invictus from Paco Rabanne. And if you know Invictus from Paco Rabanne, you would also know that that's the similar DNA that's with Rasasi Hawas as well. So that's what you kind of get, and that's what I was like, wow, this smells very known, very familiar. So people who like Rasasi Hawas or the Paco Rabanne Invictus DNA or the Nastia DNA, you will like this, because it's got a much more sweeter, much more fresher, much more aromatic opening right at the top, and then the dry down is absolutely similar to Rasasi Hawas or Invictus Aqua. Now, the thing about this is, This one does project a little softer, does only about 30-40 minutes time in my opinion, does last also about 5-6 hours only on your skin and apparel, but compared to the other two, this one lasts a lot lesser, but fragrance smells very nice. So if you like that type of a DNA, that very popular bubblegummy, aquatic, lightly spicy, lightly sweet, that kind of a airy aquatic DNA, then you will absolutely enjoy Shooting Star. Overall, I would say that I was pleasantly surprised by the three of fragrances because I did not really expect, Upsilon's discovery set to be this good. Like I said, there are plenty of reviews, so I never really paid a lot of attention to reviewing this. But after doing Golden Sands, I really thought, okay, this particular fragrance house deserves a review, and we should look at doing this. So like I said, I got it from Amazon. I'll put in the link in the description below for you to try it. And if you do look for or if you are looking for a very budget friendly fragrance that lasts good and has got a good scent profile, all three of them are good from here. Upsilon Wild Blue is a very good David of alternate. Golden Sands is a Swiss Arabian Chaga food or Oud Bouquet, Lancome's Oud Bouquet, that kind of a Middle Eastern kind of a fragrance. And Shooting Star goes in for the Invictus Aqua or Rasasi Avas DNA. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share, and I will see you on another video. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.